Making a run at it, aren't you? Rolling up a stake and going to Vegas.
I'm here, and Las Vegas will never be the same. The #1 poker internet show in the world is now on the radio. It's the Mark Hoke Show live on KLAV 1230 AM. We'll bring you the best in poker news, entertainment, plus a few twists from Sin City. Join me and all my outstanding guests from the poker world and more on the Mark Hoke Show right here on KLAV, the talk of Las Vegas.
The Mark Hoke Show, Wednesday morning 11.
You're making a run at it, aren't you? Rolling up a stake and going to Vegas.
The #1 poker internet show is now on the radio. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. For the next 60 minutes, we're going to talk poker news, entertainment, and have lots of Sin City surprises. The phone lines are open at 731-1230. That's 731-1230. Or toll free. 1-866-820-5528. That's 1-866-820-KLAV. Now, let's bring on the hosts going all in. Here is Mark Hoke.
Hi, everybody. What's up? Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show. Living rent-free in people's heads since 2011, having a great time doing it. And I got to tell you, what an awesome panel I have today. This is a troop of people that, honestly, in probably any other area but poker, you would never have in the same room. Would you say that's fair, Linda?
I think that's absolutely true.
I'm
loving it.
We have Poker Hall of Famer here, Linda Johnson, joining us, one of the all-time legends of this game. Ryan LaPlante, otherwise known as Potential Online, one of the most incredible online players in the game today, no doubt about that. I've played against Ryan. It's not fun. I mean, it was fun, but it really wasn't.
I'd consider myself more to be a grinder, but thanks for the compliment.
No problem, buddy. And poker player, artist extraordinaire here in Las Vegas, a buddy of mine that I met at the World Series this year, and one of the great characters in this city, no question about it. It is Bodlar Deathbringer. Bodlar, what's up?
Not much, man. Happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. I'm glad. I'm so happy we got to meet at the World Series this year, man. You're a cool cat.
I thought it was awesome. It was really just sort of incidental and a lot of fun.
How about that name, Deathbringer? I like that.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you guys got to get together. Give this man a few more lessons. Let's get him out on the circuit. I mean, this is marketable right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Moneymaker. You know, that was so huge. Now we've got Deathbringer.
Could you imagine Bodlar Deathbringer at the World Series of Poker final table?
Nolan Dalla would go crazy.
That'd be great. I'll take a backer.
It would definitely be a lot better than the man in the panda suit, that's for sure.
I agree. That was a disaster, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, the Mark Hoke Show, of course, has some great sponsors here that we want to make sure we mention before we get rolling here. Of course, we are powered by BlueRail.net and brought to you by Blind Squirrel Apparel, Off-Tilt Poker Tables, Team Poker Joker, Poker Plays You Can Use by Doug Hall, Final 9 Comic, Arctic Blue Cooling Towels, Double-Digit Covers, 3Bet Clothing, and, of course, the internet home of the Mark Hoke Show on RogueWire.com. It's a long list, I know.
Good to have sponsors.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps pay the bills, that's for sure. We have some interesting news that has been coming up here over the last few days, and we're going to break it down in the read brought to you by PokerNews.com.
Scanning the poker tables from around the world. This is The Read, brought to you by PokerNews.com.
Tim and I are going to be giggling about that forever. It's so bad. We butchered that twice. Actually, I did. I can't blame Tim at all. That the lead in there, yeah, totally blew it. So we have our moment. It's something very special for us.
I'd like a moment with Tim. Look at how hot he is.
He is one handsome son of a gun, isn't he?
Yes.
He is all right.
Too bad he doesn't go to the gym.
Well, I think the greatest news that came out over the past couple of days, Rounders 2 is coming out. It is to be made, quote, instantaneously. According to Deadline Hollywood, the Weinstein Company co-chairman Harvey and Bob Weinstein are once again working with Miramax, and that means the new venture is going to begin quickly. We're very excited about that. Apparently Matt Damon and Ed Norton and the whole team are back on. Apparently we're going to have a new villain, though, so no John Malkovich. So the Oreos are gone. Obviously, that tells Busted he's finished. So they're talking Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
Wow.
that would definitely be pretty interesting. I mean, he's generally pretty good at playing that like kind of evil guy, but like he's definitely someone that people can really relate to as well. Well, John Malkovich just seems like he's like not that relatable of a villain. So I think having someone who's a little bit more relatable would actually make for a much more interesting villain.
Absolutely. Pacino would be fun too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I don't know. He's kind of villained out at this point. Might need a break. But De Niro would be all right. So kids, get ready. Rounders 2 is coming to a theater near you very soon. We also have news from the online front. Tom Dwan is now no longer with Full Tilt. His contract not renewed. Apparently a mutual decision by both of those guys. Of course, we know Durr very well online, and you've seen him with some of those crazy plays on the TV shows. But Tom Dwan has severed his relationship with Full Tilt. Apparently they weren't happy. He wasn't happy. And so no more Tom Dwan on Full Tilt. Right, and of course, being the online guy, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's surprised at all by that. I mean, he's mostly been live grinding in Macau. He hasn't really been doing anything online, not really much playing. I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't be at all either, having access to those kinds of games. You know, when you're playing games that have minimum buy-ins of like 300 grand, and you're playing versus guys who are amateurs, I mean, why would you leave that? Why wouldn't you just keep playing that? I mean, the games there are better than, you know, playing versus Guy back in the day. And Guy just by himself lost like 30 million. So just think about the amount of money that he's making there. Like, why does he care about some Full Tilt sponsorship that's probably playing a lot less than, you know, what it could have pre-Black Friday?
Yep. Yeah, so no more Tom Dwan in that group. Daniel Negreanu looks like he's going to come up one spot short in being the Global Poker Index Player of the Year. Of course, that's one of the big measuring sticks out there now for players around the world. He has been passed by Oli Shimeon, if I got that name right. Oli's actually playing on the final table at EPT Prague right now. So it looks like Daniel Negreanu's going to come up one place short, but what a year he had. Of course, won his 5th bracelet at the WSOP Asia Pacific main event. Final tables at the Poker Stars in Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final. Bubble to final table of the WPT Championship, 2nd place for a bracelet this year, EPT Barcelona High Roller, and won the World Series of Poker High Roller. So Daniel Negreanu, one spot short, but I don't think he's complained too much. Butler, would you look at a year like that?
Absolutely.
That wouldn't be bad, would it?
Yeah, I think I could handle
You
that.
can handle that?
Yeah.
I'm glad he won the bracelet this year and not 2 years ago when we had a bracelet bet.
Oh, bullet dodged for Linda Johnson. There we go. Very nice. And yeah, like I said, the EPT Prague main event is going on right now. And the chip leader in that one, Stephen Chidwick out of the UK. No Americans made that final table, which is okay. But that's the final event of the year, really, before everybody comes home, kicks back, and enjoys the holidays. So,
What do you guys think the real price should be on somebody, a great player winning a bracelet? Like he took 3-1, which I thought was ridiculous because I don't think the best player in the world could possibly be 3-1.
I mean, with the number of events that he plays, how small some of those mixed games are, and how good he is at the mixed games, I mean, 3-1 probably isn't that unreasonable for him.
No, I was thinking it should be maybe 4.5 to 5-1, but I mean, it's not terribly off base, but it just seemed like a good price to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would probably take up most people at that as well, outside of, Ivy specifically.
I would take anyone at that. So anybody who wants action comes to me.
Oh.
3-1, unless they keep adding more events. So back when we had the bet, I think it was just like 7 events in Europe, and plus the 55 events here. So it was 62, but now it's like in the 70s or 80s events, so it's getting tougher.
Well, did you see the news that they're no longer going to be doing Europe and Australia every year? Instead, they're just going to be doing the one big series in one. And I think that's a lot better. Especially it'd be great if they could just start tossing up guarantees. Like, I don't get why the WSOP hasn't been putting up big guarantees. I mean, look at the Millionaire Maker last year. I mean, they could probably run 4 Millionaire Makers throughout the summer. Every single one will get, at least minimum $3 to $4 million, prize pools at dead minimum, and most of them probably get, 5 to 7 million if they do the multi-day, multiple days of entry plus allow re-entries and extend the late reg. I mean, it'd be absolutely great for the game. I mean, obviously, you'll have some issue with pros firing multiple bullets and that kind of stuff. But when you say that there's $1 million for first, the amount of people who come in from, LA, San Francisco, San Diego, from the big cities all in this area, just when they hear about it, is enough.
Yeah,
where
look
the
how many
prize
went
pool
to
will
Florida
explode.
for the 10 million guarantee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, you should roll
right.
down to Florida, Bodlar.
All right.
We'll keep it coming. We're gonna find a backer for Bodlar. I'm serious.
I think so.
We're launching a campaign right now.
I mean, can you imagine me at the poker table in my leather and my mohawk up and spikes everywhere? And just it would throw people off. man.
Absolutely.
I would just win. I'd just steamroll.
Well, you'd get
people.
coverage, and that's what that's
Exactly.
what the sites are looking for.
There you
I
go.
was actually quite surprised that nobody sponsored a man in the women's event, because they would be interviewed. Even though they had to pay the $10,000, they would get a lot of press, and I really thought some kind of company that pushes the envelope might be a sponsor of a man in the women's event at the World Series.
Well,
last
you
year.
know what they say: any kind of press is good press.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Well, and speaking of press, we have on the line for our Grindettes segment. It is Katie Dozier. And these ladies just, it never fails. Every time I turn around, there's some sort of article about the Grindettes coming up. And we're, of course, very happy to have Katie Dozier on the show. Katie, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. This is so fun to be on the panel with Linda Johnson and with Ryan and with you. And I'm just really excited to be on the phone, and feeling like I'm in Vegas for a few minutes is a fun idea for me.
We miss
Katie.
you. We miss you,
Hey,
Katie.
Katie. I think I hear Bodlar quietly crying in the corner for not mentioning
I have
him.
never
Never.
met him. I'm sure he's very nice. I looked at his art on Facebook last night, and it was very cool looking. So
Thank
we need
you.
to be friends too, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Well, we'll all hang out. Let's get a couple beers.
Okay.
Well, Katie, interesting. Of course, Ryan, very well known for his coaching now, and I'm curious to hear about. You and Colin do a lot of great coaching. What is that like for you guys now, especially with this era of online poker being, in such flux at this right now?
It's a very great thing to be able to give poker coaching, and to have people that want to pay you for it, especially, is even better. But what's really great about it is that, you really have to verbalize your thought process and do it in a way that totally makes sense, because especially when you're making videos for these training sites, if you give an example of a hand and you don't explain it well, or there are flaws in your thinking, people will point it out to you. So it's like you really have to put all of your energy into thinking about optimal lines and things like that, and it's the absolute best for getting better as a player, because it's constantly forcing you to think about that. And even when you're coaching someone else, sometimes a player will take a line that's really not standard, and the inclination can be, well, this isn't normally how this hand should be played, but it can give you insight into taking different lines and things like that, which is so important as a poker player.
Yeah, it's the artistry of the game. No doubt about it. There's many different ways to get there, even though Ryan over here just makes money. That's all he does. But now, another interesting thing is I wanted to talk to you about, because you've been getting so many articles about you and the Grindettes, about the ladies in poker and where things are going with that. And it's been a wild year for women in poker. Give us some thoughts as we get ready to close out 2013 on the year that women have had this year.
I am just thrilled with the year that women have had in poker. It's just been amazing. I mean, particularly with the WSOP and women winning open events and things like that, I think that it's been a year where, sometimes women have some sort of stigma with them that they're not as good as men, and things that, I basically spend my career fighting against and trying to disprove. And I think, there have been so many more players that people are taking notice of, not because they're women, but just because they're great players. And so I'm thrilled with the year for women in poker in 2013.
Yeah, where do you think we see it in terms of percentages at the tables now? Of course, we got up to a little over 4% in the main event this year. Where do we go now?
Yeah, I got a question recently in an interview that was like, why do you think that the percent is so small in the main event? And I was like, that's totally the wrong focus to take. Our numbers are going up. That was a huge, I think it was over a percentage increase in a very large field tournament with the WSOP main event. And, I thought it was going to be up just from when I was playing it. I was looking around and I was seeing a lot of women, and I was really excited. It wasn't just faces of people that I knew either. It was women who it was probably their first time playing. And that was really excited for me. So I really think that the direction is just going up and up, and I really think that the next boom in poker is going to be the women poker players. And maybe even one day we'll be the majority in the games, which is very exciting.
I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. The less ugly in those poker rooms, the better. I'm fine with that. Yeah, Linda, your thoughts on that real quick.
There's still a long way to go. I think it's very cool to see so many women and so many great women players. The first time I played a World Series in 1980, I think we had 60 women for the women's event. And, when I talked to them before the opening of the ladies' event 2 years ago, we had over 1,000. So it's just great. And women will start coming out in numbers. I think it was really good on ESPN where they had the woman who was talking about how much fun she was having playing and how exciting it was. And I think that's going to get people interested.
Very good. Well, Katie, if I don't get to talk to you, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, even though I'm sure I will because, we're buds. It's all good.
We're buddies. Yeah, we have to talk. In fact, I was going to say, that I think I should call you on Christmas Eve so you can read The Night Before Christmas to me in your velvety, smooth voice.
Really?
I think Santa would definitely come visit me if you did that to me.
Wow. That's pressure. Well, I have to tape a Christmas show, by the way, so maybe you just gave me an idea. But make sure you follow.
You should so do that.
All right. I will put that on the list. Well, Katie, thanks for calling in, and make sure you follow the Grindettes at Grindettes on Twitter, the Grindettes on Facebook, and, of course, Grindettes.com. I will speak to you soon.
Happy holidays, Katie.
Thanks so much for
See you,
having
Katie.
me. Happy
Bye,
holidays,
Katie.
Linda and Ryan. Thank you.
And Bodlar.
And Bodlar.
And Bobler, my new best friend.
I promise
I'm
you
gonna
won't
add him on
forget him when you
Facebook.
meet him.
Yeah.
I won't.
All
All
right.
right, thanks a lot.
You got it,
Bye.
Katie. All right, we have to hit a commercial break here for the show, but we're going to be right back and talking to Linda Johnson, Ryan, and Bodlar as we roll on with this great show. Thank you for joining us, everybody.
Want to be a millionaire? Then see if you can become fantasy sports royalty in the 2013 Fantasy Football Millionaire Grand Final at DraftKings.com. Play for free or in paid contests for real money, plus games last one day, so there's no long-term commitment. Thousands of winners have won over 10 million prizes on DraftKings.com, and now it's your turn to cash in. Go to DraftKings.com right now, enter the promo code Hoke, and get a 100% deposit bonus and a free entry into the Millionaire Grand Final qualifier. So don't wait. Crown yourself the king of fantasy sports at DraftKings.com.
Win your share of $50,000 in cash and prizes and get into the game for free with the Nevada Poker League. NPL has 17 locations in the Las Vegas area for you to play poker with your friends and neighbors. New season starts early October. Find a location near you at NevadaPokerLeague.com and get in the action tonight.
When it comes to custom poker tables, why would you buy something someone else designed and even named for their sales or marketing purposes?
The Nighthawk, the Gambler, the Big Slick, the Nuts.
Sure, you can customize it if you want, as long as you choose between black, red, or even green cloth, but that's about it. When you choose to play off tilt, it's not just another table, it's your table. The same price gets you a fully custom designed table that reflects your style and game. Off tilt makes it easy to design a truly one-of-a-kind custom poker table that'll give you home table advantage. Sure, Off Tilt could name their tables for marketing purposes, but why? It's not ours. We don't play on it. And to be honest, there are over 1,000 named Off Tilt tables worldwide, including the WSOP, the Deep Stacks Poker Tour, the Jonathan Papelbon, as well as Julie's, Chris's, Scott's, Amber's, Tristan's, just to name a few. So let us add your name to the list and deliver a truly custom-crafted, furniture-quality poker table worthy of your game. Visit www.offtiltpokertables.com or call Brian Knott today at 262-490-3812. We'll show you why Off Tilt is the only way to play.
One man, his lucky shirt, an unforgettable night, and a winning streak that never seemed to end. That's how Blind Squirrel began, and we haven't looked back since. We make the clothes that we want to wear for the places where we want to look and feel our best. The game, the speakeasy, and the casino floor. Blind Squirrel's small batch, high-quality gear is for people too busy grabbing life by the nuts to bother with crappy, ill-fitting clothing. Because like you, we prefer our nights long, our drinks strong, and our lucky shirt to be our most comfortable. So look good, be lucky, and visit BlindSquirrelApparel.com for your new favorite shirt. As an added bonus, you'll receive 20% off your purchase with the promo code HOKE, H-O-K-E. You can also pick up Blind Squirrel apparel at the Borgata in Atlantic City and in Las Vegas at all Missouri stores at Mandalay Bay, Monte Carlo, The Mirage, and MGM Grand. Look good and be lucky with Blind Squirrel Apparel.
The heat is on. Whether you're in the hot seat of a major poker tournament or just dealing with everyday life, stay cool with a brand new Arctic Blue cooling towel. Just wet your reusable and durable Arctic Blue cooling towel in cold water, and you'll have instant cooling relief at your fingertips for up to 5 hours. The towel is lightweight and pliable, so you can keep it handy no matter where you are. Plus, it's absorbent enough to make sure you and your clothes stay dry while you stay cool. No need to sweat it out, no matter what you're doing, when you have an Arctic Blue cooling towel handy. So get the same cooling towel used by professional athletes, poker players, first responders, physical therapists, U.S. automakers, and even reality TV stars. So what are you waiting for? Visit them today at arcticblu.com and pick yours up today. Plus, enter the discount code MarkHokeShow when you check out and get 15% off plus free shipping to keep some of your cold hard cash in your wallet. It's like the Arctic Blue Bear says, it's not cool to be hot. So pick up your Arctic Blue cooling towel today.
Now, let's return to the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back here on the Mark Hoke Show. Thank you for being with us. I'm going to skip the sponsor promos for one thing that I want to make sure I get to mention. Of course, it is Jimmy V Week on ESPN, and I'm sure that all of us have had somebody in our lives touched by cancer. Of course, lost my grandmother to it, and would like to encourage everybody, if you can even throw in a buck, go to jimmyv.org or give them a call at 1-800-4-JIMMY-V and make a donation to the Jimmy V Foundation today. Of course, you know, that speech always makes me cry. Bodlar, you've seen the Jimmy V speech, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you need to watch it.
Okay.
You need to watch it. You will shed a tear.
I don't think I'll cry.
You might.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
It's one of those things that makes everybody cry.
I'm a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you're done.
Okay.
You will run to jimmyv.org and make a donation, guaranteed. So if you guys could do that, really appreciate it, and help. You never know who you're helping out. Of course, Jimmy V's, I believe his daughter got cancer, if I remember right. So kind of help down the road. Pretty incredible story. So take care of that for me, would you? All right, Linda, I want to first thank you for having me come down to the WPDG discussion group for your Christmas party.
Well, it was nice having you, and I liked your topic, too, about choices that we have to make.
Yep.
Yeah, the WPDG stands for Wednesday Poker Discussion Group. Anybody in Las Vegas is invited. We meet every Wednesday from 3 to 5 p.m. at Ricardo's. It's free to attend. We ask you to throw in $2 if you don't order something, just to take care of the waiters and the venue. But we talk about anything poker, and I just hooked up with Ryan to come and talk to the group today. So sometimes we have really cool guest speakers, and it's just a nice group of people.
Thanks for inviting.
Yeah, it's a great time, and it really has become one of the legendary discussion groups in poker. I mean, I've heard about it for years.
Yeah,
finally got to go a little while ago.
We haven't missed a Wednesday, I think, since 2001.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a highlight of my weeks. When I'm in town, I always make it a point to go because I like seeing the people there, and I like hearing them talk about poker.
It's very interesting that you have taken the time to help people out and work them through the game. There's so many poker players out there that don't want to do that. They're just like, I'm doing my thing. It's an individual game. I'm going to make my money. But Ryan taking his time. I mean, Butler gets out in the community and does a lot of stuff and to help people and help them learn the game. And I think that's important, to not be locked in that selfish mode and help advance the game as much as you have.
Yeah, but I think when you teach, it's also a little bit selfish because I know I always, when I teach a WPT boot camp, I always play my best poker the week following that because, it's like you're reviewing the foundation that you're supposed to have in your game. So it's a little bit selfish to teach. And plus, I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And I love to see people become successful at poker. Our game is one that you can win at, and that's very, very cool. I just wrote a column, what I like about poker, and that was one of the things. Like, there's no professional craps players, there's no professional roulette players, because you can't win at those games. But poker's a game that you can win at. Of course, you're going to have to do the work. And it never ceases to amaze me how many people will just sit down at a poker table and put their money there. And, there's no reason why they should expect to win. They haven't done the work. It's like I couldn't just go and do brain surgery tomorrow, but people just go and play poker. It's bizarre to me.
That'd be interesting to see, though.
Yeah.
But and Ryan, you could probably speak to that too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, I've probably grown more as a player over the last 8 months, which is when I've put in like most of my time over the last like 6 months has been spent, more on coaching than doing anything else. I've probably averaged like 20 hours a week or so. And I've noticed over that time period that my game has just grown really incredibly because, especially like the diverse, kinds of players I've been coaching. I've been coaching guys who are Sunday major winners, who have bracelets. I've coached guys, who are 45-year-old amateurs, who are, young online grinders who are trying to move their way up from low stakes to mid stakes. And when you're like getting like that wide range of different ways to look and view the game, and you're trying to teach them how to think better about the game. Like I don't really, try to coach to a specific style of playing. I just try to coach to help people try to think more as a, professional poker player should, about ranges, about expected value, about a lot of math and theory and game theory and stuff involved in poker, the really deep nitty-gritty stuff, and try to give them a structured way to think about the game. And when you're trying to teach that kind of thinking to so many different, approaches to the game, it makes you think a lot differently about the game as well. And especially, it's trying to teach to people in general, making sure that they, I don't try to just, turn someone into a parrot, like this is what you should do in this spot. I try to teach them the fundamental reasons behind why they should do it. And to get someone to understand something on that level, you really have to be able to empathize with them as a person and as a player and really understand where they're coming from. Then you have to put yourself in their shoes and try to help them, come back to your point of view as well, at least as much as possible, so they can really understand and grow as a player. And, being able to do that for so many different people has just really helped my game, in such huge ways. There's also the fact that, when, a student asks me a question and I can't really, explain it in depth to a really high degree, I realize that I don't really understand that myself. So I need to put in more effort to make sure I understand that, so we can come back to it, and then I can explain it to them.
Right. And and Bodlar, when you talk about teaching people and helping them learn, I know you have some very you have some poker art pieces, but you also have some very other unique art pieces. Yeah. And we were talking before we came in here about some of the things that you're trying to do with your art, and a lot of that in a way is doing coaching too through your art.
Yeah, well, the whole point of art, in my opinion, is to create a discussion, is to raise questions, to, get people to actually talk to each other about different things. So, I think that art should be hard. When you look at a piece, that it should make people think, and that it should stop them in their tracks. So, the way I communicate to people is through imagery and through ideology. And so when they look at a piece that I have, I can sit 5 different people down in front of something that I've done and get 5 different answers on what they think it means. And it'll cause those 5 people that are sitting next to each other to then change their perspective to try to figure out how those people are trying to understand something. And so I don't know if it's necessarily teaching, but I like to think that I'm breaking people, but that's just kind of my personal philosophy on it.
You have some very unique artwork, by the way.
Thank you.
And real quick, tell everybody about some of the more unique pieces that haven't been to your website.
Well, half of them I can't see on the air. The other half,
they're awesome.
Now everyone's going to want to go look.
Yeah, exactly. I do a lot of work with words. I think that language is a very strange and interesting thing, and the way we approach language as a society is kind of ridiculous. I'm avidly anti-censorship. I think that censorship in any form is going to set us back, that even censorship in our daily lives, if you have somebody that you have a problem with, if you hold on to that, it brews and turns into something worse. Or if you have something good you want to tell somebody but you don't, we're, as a society, I think we're all like really tied down to these ideas that we have to portray a certain image and we can't say certain things. And I think that you should say what's on your mind, and that as a group we would make more progress, there would be less issues. Then I also have other work where it's highly like minimalist, geometric, very colorful. I like a lot of bright colors. I do a lot of color theory work, so that I'll play with different things, like the idea of split complements, which a lot of people don't really know about, but will create the look that a color is much brighter than it is when you put it next to another color, or vice versa. You can make a color darker if you put it next to a certain color. And so, I'll take people and I'll set them down next to two separate pieces and say, oh, look at this green and this green. They're actually the same, but they don't look the same at all.
Kind of like Ryan's outfits.
Right. Yeah.
He's got some good outfits. And your hair, of course, Bodlar.
Of course, my hair.
I'm so disappointed you didn't spike it up for me this morning. Well, that's okay.
It's on the radio, so I didn't think anybody was going to see it. There's pictures of me all over the internet.
Fair enough.
With it up. And then I also do a highly emotive line of work that's just basically my own personal art therapy. I've got a lot of anger and a lot of like internal dialogue that goes on, and so I'll sit down at a piece and just let everything go, let everything out, get rid of it, and crazy stuff comes out when I do that, and it turns out to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think of poker as an art form more of an abstract too. I mean,
I agree with that entirely.
It's very, there's a lot of mathematics and everything, but when it comes down to it, I think there's just everybody's kind of got a paintbrush that they have at the table, and you try to paint pictures and do things that are going to stand out and bold moves and things like that. Would you agree?
I think that's definitely definitely true of No Limit. It's an art. I think limit poker is more of a science, but No Limit, everybody's got their own thinkings about it, and creativity can be an asset depending on if it's maniacal or not. But
I've seen Ryan make some maniacal plays at the table, so it's definitely room for that. It usually works out for you.
Sometimes I've made some, plays that I certainly regret looking back at. But yeah, there's only so much, even as a mathematical and theoretical that you can really teach about the game. There's just certain, inherent, things that you need to be able to see and understand about the game. And so many people will approach it in such different manners. And I don't think that some of that stuff that you can just really teach. Some of my students are just so willing to pull triggers in spots, willing to pull off this 5-bet bluff. And, I could come at it and look at it theoretically, and can say, maybe it was a mistake. But, in a live scenario or just based on game flow, it could have been by far the most optimal play. It's just really hard to say. And I think there are a lot of spots like that, especially in pot limit and no limit games, where there's just that inherent, art part of the game that can be the difference between a good player and a Daniel Negreanu.
Absolutely. And speaking of players, by the way, it's time. It is time for the Arctic Blue Keep Your Cool game of the day.
It's time for the Arctic Blue Keep Your Cool game of the day.
These three, Bodlar's giggling and everybody else is concerned like, oh my God. Well, of course, we were talking about women in poker, and of course, in honor of Linda Johnson, member of the Poker Hall of Fame, and Women in Poker Hall of Fame as well, of course. We're going to ask you guys questions to identify some of the women of poker. Now, there are some variants on this, and Linda, I am not making this easy on you. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Okay.
I put some special questions together just for you.
Good.
So we'll take turns answering questions, see who's going to get the most questions right on this little quiz.
Okay.
So, Bodlar, you're first.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
No. But go ahead anyway.
This Poker Hall of Famer worked for the United States Postal Service before becoming the publisher of Card Player Magazine and the co-founder of the charitable organization Poker Gives.
I know. It's Linda Johnson.
Correct.
All right. I got an easy one.
Point for, yeah. Sure, you give him the no-brainers.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about the post office before the show.
Yeah,
so
kind of lucked out on that.
You threw me off on that one. Thanks.
Okay. Ryan. This cute and charming WSOP co-host is so nice she is now giving people hot chocolate and s'mores to players after she does their bust-out interviews.
I'm blanking on her name.
I got it.
I know I should know this. Starts with a K, doesn't it?
It does.
I can't remember.
Linda, you want to pick this one?
Kara Scott.
Kara Scott is correct.
Who is, by the way, very lovely, both inside and out. She's absolutely delightful.
She is a sweetheart. I think she will start doing the hot chocolate and the s'mores. I think that's a good idea for her. All right, Linda. Let's go with this one's a little bit tough. She won event 54 at the WSOP in 2013, becoming the only woman other than Vanessa Selps to win an open event since 2008.
She's from California, and she's a waitress. But I don't know her name. Wait, Dana. Dana's good enough.
Well, I think we give her a dinger.
Dana,
but,
yeah.
All right, Dana Castaneda is the
Yeah,
correct answer.
right.
We'll give a half for that.
Yeah.
All right, Bodlar. Let's see. How about we go with this actress won the WSOP ladies event in 2005.
Really?
Beating her famous poker player boyfriend to winning a WSOP bracelet.
I have no idea.
Ryan, can you steal it?
That would be Miss Jennifer Tilly.
That is correct. Well, Linda, what am I supposed to do? I gotta give. He's an artist. I can't give him all the nasty questions.
All right.
Oh, that would be no. I can't give that question to Ryan. He'll nail that one. She's a 3-time bracelet winner, the only woman to reach the WSOP main event final table, and a member of the Poker Hall of Fame. Right?
Oh, really? You're giving me her?
Yeah, I am.
I would say the scumbag known as Annie Duke.
No.
Really?
No. Oh my goodness. Steal.
Barbara Enright.
Barbara Enright.
Really?
Dang.
I didn't know that. I thought Annie Duke made the main event final table.
Nope.
She was
No?
10th.
She was close.
She final table bubbled it.
10th or 11th. Barbara was 6th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah.
But a good plug for Annie Duke.
Well,
Thanks, Ryan.
I'm glad she didn't.
Speaking of
final
no
table
censorship.
There you go.
How well? Let's find out how well Linda knows her grindettes. Katie Stone of the Grindettes Twitter handle is Katie75013. Those numbers are not random. What does the 75013 stand for?
Wow. I don't know.
Bodlar, guess.
Zip code.
Yes, it is her former zip code in Houston. Very good.
Good one.
Boom.
All right.
Nice job, Bodlar, putting one on the board.
It's 5 numbers. I mean,
You think the post office?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely should have got that.
Yeah, sorry, Linda.
Yeah, definitely should have got that.
I'm not sure if you're going to get this, Bodlar,
I
but
probably
we'll give it a
won't,
shot.
but let's try.
Rich Ryan of Poker News said this about female fellow Poker News reporter yesterday, quote, I feel like if Dwight Howard was female and Asian, that's what he'd look like right now.
That's funny, but I don't know who that is.
Christy Arnett.
Christy Arnett is correct. Very good, Ryan. And let's try this one. We talked about rounders. Joe and Petra were the two love interests, otherwise known as the Rakes, in Mike McDermott's life in the classic poker movie Rounders. Name one of the actresses who played those roles.
I have no idea.
No idea? Linda.
No.
No? Oh, this ought to be good. Bodlar.
Don't remember.
No. Gretchen Mol and Famke Janssen.
Never heard of
That's
either
a
one.
hard
Gretchen Mol
one.
was the
I was
blonde,
drawing
Famke
absolute
Janssen
dead.
was the brunette.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
could have given
never
me a
heard of
million
either.
guesses, and I couldn't have come up with
Yeah,
that.
me either.
All right. And last one for Linda. Yeah, let's go with this. This player got as high as third in this year's WSOP Player of the Year race, but came up short in Europe and finished fourth.
Maria Ho?
No.
No idea.
No
Must be
idea.
the-
Finished fourth in this year's Player of the Year race.
Has to be a woman.
Yeah.
The only one I can think
Has-
of would be like Vanessa
Vanessa
Selps.
Selps.
Nope.
No.
No, that was Lonnie Harwood.
Huh.
Lonnie Harwood.
Okay.
All right. Bodlar, I'm going to give you a bonus question. I think you can get this
Oh,
one.
all right.
The leading money winner among women in poker history, and rumor has it is an expert at stealing a small piece of your soul after she crushes it at the table. No?
Is it Linda again?
No.
Damn it.
No. Ryan.
Vanessa
Vanessa
Selps.
Vanessa Selps is correct.
Yeah.
All right. Ryan, I believe you won that game. Congratulations. Very nice job, sir.
Oh,
We'll give you a round of applause.
Yeah.
All
I think it was only because you were giving Bob Lard the easy questions. I'm generally not very good at names or that kind of stuff, like mixing up Annie Duke and Barbara. I mean, two opposites.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, Barbara's not going to be happy if she hears that.
No.
We'll send her an apology letter. Linda, you can maybe do some advanced PR on that before she has the broadcast. All right. Well, we're going to take another commercial break. We'll be right back here with Bodler, Ryan, and Linda right after this.
Poker is more fun when you win. Most poker books are too theoretical. They tell you to be more aggressive but give few practical examples. Poker Plays You Can Use by Doug Hull, edited by Ed Miller, has 49 concepts with multiple, clear examples from real, live 1-2 through 5-10 games. Each hand is visually represented, explaining which players are vulnerable to these moves. Use discount code KLAV at 3barrelbluff.com to get 25% off your copy. Paper and ebook available.
9 poker players on a dramatic path to glory with unbelievable twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's the Final 9 comic from Room 110 Publishing. Go to final9comic.com to download the first issue preview and get ready for the official launch coming soon. 9 will become 1 way or another. Final9comic.com. And for more details, make sure to follow them on Twitter and like them on Facebook at Final9Comic.
At Team Poker Joker, we build innovative, high-performance, poker-focused apparel designed to keep you cool and calm in tough situations. Wait, no we don't. We've just got a cool brand representing the suits of this beautiful game called poker. Our gear won't make you better, but it will keep a smile on your face. So don't be so serious and show you know how to have fun. Get your Poker Joker gear today at TeamPokerJoker.com. Grin and win today at TeamPokerJoker.com.
Your business and promotion will only go as far as your website will take you. That's why the Mark Hoke Show has only trusted one name for over 2 years, BlueRail.net. Whether you need custom website design and development packages or simply need a host for your website, Blue Rail is the only developer to turn to. It's time to discover the world-class personalized service only the Blue Rail team can provide. Visit us at BlueRail.net and call 520-822-5128 right now for your free consultation today. So get on board at BlueRail.net. How far do you want to go?
Last summer, I was at the World Series of Poker every day and couldn't walk 2 steps without seeing someone wearing 3Bet clothing. It's super comfortable and stylish, and all their stuff looks amazing. The incredible team of pros who wear 3Bet hats, hoodies, tees, and more are a who's who in poker. All-time greats like Jonathan Little, Doc Sands, Brian Rask, Jason Kuhn, Scott Clements, Greg Mueller, Ben Tollerine, Jeff Gross, and of course, Antonio Esfandiari, all proudly wearing the 3Bet brand. They wear 3Bet clothing because they know that being comfortable and feeling confident is crucial to winning on and off the tables. 3Bet.com has shipped thousands of orders worldwide, and it's time for you to join the 3Bet team just like the pros. Go to the number 3bet.com and receive an added bonus of 15% off with the promo code RADIO. Make that right call. Look and feel like a pro at 3bet.com.
Sports bettors, tired of getting beat every week at your sportsbook? It's time to stop guessing and start winning. We all know cash is king, and it's time to let the team at Double Digit Covers come to the rescue to help you get the positive cash flow you need to live the life you've always dreamed about. Tony Dos and his all-star sports handicapping team will be in your corner to help you beat the point spread, bring excitement and winning to your betting experience, and build your bankroll to levels you never thought possible. Get free winning sports information at doubledigitcovers.com and call now for today's free winner at 1-855-489-3500. That's 1-855-489-3500. Stop guessing and start winning today at doubledigitcovers.com.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back here on the Mark
Whose
Hoke
voice
Show.
is that?
That is the Hall of Fame broadcaster here at KLAV, John Lindquist.
Cool. All right. I like it.
You'd like him. He's a snappy dresser, too. He's all right. Yeah, he's a tall, good-looking guy. We're not going to get Linda out of the studio today. She's going to be like, oh, there's Tim, and there's John. All right, we're good. Fair enough. Well, I want to make sure we get to talk about some of the discount codes that we've got for everybody for the Mark Hoke Show. It's Christmas time. It's time to spend some money, support the show. That helps us. All right, because you don't buy stuff from our sponsors, they don't come back, which would be devastating because all these are great companies. 20% off on Blind Squirrel Apparel if you go to blindsquirrelapparel.com. Put in the code HOKE on that one. We have Poker Plays you can use. That is an awesome book by Doug Hull. Go to 3barrelbluff.com. Put in the code KLAV. You're going to get 25% off that book. And that's a great deal, and it'll more than pay for itself. I guarantee it. You're going to love it. Arctic Blue Cooling Towels, who sponsored our game segment, 15% off. Plus free shipping when you put in the code Mark Hoke Show when you check out. Those Arctic Blue Cooling Towels are awesome, especially out here in the desert, man. It may be a little chilly now, but getting outside, golfing, working out, whatever you're doing, sitting at the poker table, need to cool off a little bit. Those things hold up for 5 hours. Just check it out at arcticblu.com. Pick that up today. 3Bet Clothing, of course, Antonio Esfandari just had his 35th birthday party. Continues to blow me off. I'm getting upset, Antonio. I'm going to hunt you down, man. But we've got 15% off there when you put in the code RADIO on that one. Also, make sure you go to Final Nine Comic. Free download of the first issue of Final Nine Comic. 9 will become one way or the other. And, of course, our good friends at DoubleDigitCovers.com. Give them a call at 855-489-3500. Make some extra money with your sports bets this year at DoubleDigitCovers.com. They are waiting for your call actually right now. Honest to God, there's somebody there. So give them a buzz and pick up some coin today. So, Bodlar, let's go to you here. So, what are your plans coming up for Christmas, my friend? What do you have going on? Do we have any special Christmas artwork or anything happening? What's up?
I have a few pieces in my arsenal that I already have. I made some greeting cards last year that I've been hawking that say happy something holidays. So I send those out to everybody on my mailing list, just to keep the holiday spirit alive. So I've got those. There's a piece that I did that I actually painted over that says peace, love, and joy on it. It has a Christmas tree on the end for the third piece that says joy. That piece, it's one of those things that, like, this time of year, everybody sort of puts on this fake plastic smile and walks around and pretends like they're happy. And there are a lot of
it's a Christmas downer right there. That's all right.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm all about. So, my point though is that I think that if you want to walk around and be happy and be nice to people, that it should be more than just 1 week out of the year. If that's something that you actually believe in and you want to do, then own it and just live it. You don't have to. You don't need a holiday as an excuse to pretend. So if just don't pretend. Just be honest.
Yeah, so bodlar.com is the website.
Yeah.
So you're going to check out what's going on with Bodlar's artwork.
Yeah, I'm also all over Facebook, too.
Yeah, that keyword, by the way, is the F-bomb, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
It is incorporated in some of his artwork. It's quite fascinating, so make sure you take a look at that. Ryan,
sounds like some good stuff. I'll definitely have to get some when I get my own place here.
Cool.
Oh, so getting your own place out here finally. Huh?
Yeah. Pretty soon, a couple of months, hopefully, at the latest.
Awesome. So
rent a house or maybe even consider buy a house sometime.
So what are you planning for Christmas? What's up?
Heading back up to Wisconsin to see my family and my boyfriend's family for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks or so. With the amount of traveling stuff that we do, we just don't really get to see family much anymore. Yeah. So when we're able to really relax and just take time off, tend to do that. And then after that, it's going to be pretty hectic for me, going first back to here, then up to Canada to do some Turbo Championship of Online Poker, which is my specialty and what I'm really looking forward to. So should be a good couple of months for me.
PCA's coming up, by the way.
Not that much of a baller.
No?
As much as you say, no. I've been close a couple of years to going, but it's really hard to justify spending the amount of money to get out there. Everything there is so expensive.
It is.
I mean, like, I ended up going to EPT Grand Final this year, and I thought, like, that was pretty ridiculous, but I only went there because I accidentally satellited in. I would
Wait,
never...
whoa. Accidentally how do you... What were we doing? You're multi-table, like 93 tables or something, and, oh, look, I won. Oh, okay, that's nice. Great, next table.
It actually wasn't far off from that. Like, I only had like 12 or 13 tables up, and I was looking for more stuff to add near the end of a session. So I generally like go through satellite lobby and see if there's anything worth popping up. Just because they'll be fairly fast turbos, always take less than an hour or so. And I saw like the step satellite. It was like 500 freaking player points, so it was worth about $8. And I saw that it had like 26 guaranteed, and I was like, oh, that's probably going to overlay. I should just hop in it quick. And so it's a satellite to a satellite to another satellite to get into it. So I won the first, couple of steps to get into the top. Like, it's only like top. I think it was 1 in 5, and then it was 1 in 15, and then from there it was 1 in 50. So I turned about $8 in frequent player points on PokerStars into an EPT Grand Final package worth like 18 or 19 grand.
Wow!
Many of our listeners just vomited right now.
Awesome.
That is awesome. That's a great story.
I didn't even try to satellite in. Like, I wasn't even like, I'd always wanted to go to Europe. I'd always wanted to play an EPT. I did like. For me, playing the EPT Grand Final was like definitely a dream come true, and I didn't even try to satellite in, and there I was, about a month later in Monaco, playing with some of the best in the world. It was pretty ridiculous.
Well, and you already got your Christmas present. To heck with you then.
Yeah.
Santa stopped by early. Linda, now I know you've got a lot going on for the holidays. I know one thing that you do on Christmas morning, which I think as many people, if could get involved, should. Tell everybody a little bit about what you're going to be doing on Christmas morning.
I'll start my Christmas morning at 6 a.m. out in the cold down by the Mission. I do this every year, and I do it throughout the year, Bob. I'm not just a Christmas person.
Thank you. Good.
I go down to the Mission, and I bring just carloads full of clothing and toiletries and towels and just socks. Socks are so important to the homeless people, and we just set up tables down there by Main and Las Vegas Boulevard. And we give away for free anything that anybody wants. So I'll start out that way. And then I'm going to be cooking for, I think, like 80 people maybe. Anybody who doesn't have a place to go on Christmas is welcome to come to my house. So
wow, that's great.
Done.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
I love coming to Linda's house. You make the most awesome lasagna.
Thank you. I got to say, yeah, everybody makes one special dish. That's mine. And I can't even eat it at restaurants because it's not nearly as good.
No doubt about that. So what else do you have coming up, Linda, for you?
I've got some card player cruise events coming up. In January, we're hosting the Heartland Poker Tour on card player cruises. And we have like 8 cruises next year. If anybody's interested, tell them you heard about it on the Mark Hoke Show, and we'll give you a $50 discount when you book, and we'll give Mark an affiliate. So go to cardplayercruises.com and check it out.
I think I just scored some holiday coin.
There you go.
How about that? That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, this is, it's really great to see, such, as I said at the beginning of the show, such a diverse group of people in this poker community. And that's really, one thing that I think is so special about the game is it's a giving group of people. It's a group of people that really does care about each other. And all you guys are such different backgrounds. And it's so great to see us, sitting here having a great time and talking about poker and everything else too. And I think it's one of the great things about the game. It's just wonderful to have such amazing personalities that we do have.
Yeah. Diversity is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, like, that's my favorite thing about poker is, the fact that, play live at the World Series and you can literally play with anyone. I've played with Michael Phelps, played with billionaires, other sports professionals, and just from all walks of life. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
The equalizer, blind people, quadriplegics I played with.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
just amazing.
Yeah, and Bodlar too.
Yeah, and artists.
Yeah, we're gonna get you in the World Series this year, buddy. That's gonna be my pet project.
All right, I'm on board, man. Let's do it.
Done. So Ryan will coach you up. We'll work on that too. But thank you everybody for joining us, and we will be on the air on Christmas Day. We're gonna probably pre-record a show, but if you're looking for something to absolutely spoil your holiday, hey, tune into the Mark Hoke Show on Christmas morning. All you DJs at 11 a.m. on Christmas Day.
You're just
Pacific
a great
time.
interviewer. I always like doing your show, Mark.
Oh, thank you, Linda.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me, Mark.
So we'll see you next week. And, of course, Rogue Wire show on Sunday, 3 p.m. on there, too. So check us out, and thanks for joining us.